Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Today, we got a special treat. I'm going to be interviewing one of our premier lenders, John Volman from Synergy One Lending. And he's going to talk to us about the mortgage process. So stay tuned for that. It's going to follow us right after this. And then next week, if I don't get a chance to tell you, next week we're going to talk to Todd Maxwell. He's a sales rep for a community called Ladera. They build 55 plus communities throughout the Metroplex here. And he's the lead sales dude for Ladera at Little Elm. And we're going to interview him about not only about the Ladera company, but about the Little Elm property that he's in charge of. So stay tuned for that for next week. So here we go. We're going to talk to John Volman right away.
Cool.
Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePoe here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, got a special guest this week. It's John Volman from Synergy One Mortgages. We're going to talk about mortgages and the mortgage process.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve.
No worries. Hey, tell us a little bit about Synergy One and your experience.
Yeah, I work for Synergy One Lending. We're a local lender here in the DFW area. We are nationwide, but have a local office here. I've been in the mortgage business for coming up on 8 years now.
8 years.
So kind of started out as a loan officer assistant, and then started originating loans myself in 2018. So
outstanding.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. Really enjoy getting to help people, especially first time home buyers. That education part of the whole process is a lot of fun to me, and just getting to provide value and help people with their home buying process is it's been great. So really love it.
First time home buyers are struggling a little bit nowadays.
Yeah, they definitely need a lot of help. Especially with higher interest rates and higher home prices. People need to understand what the numbers are before they find that perfect home. And they just need a lot of hand holding, and that's a lot of what I enjoy doing every day.
Yeah, we're along the same way. We kind of really enjoy with the Rose Realty team. We really enjoy getting people to that final stage. Buying the house. A lot of people say the house of a dream. This is my last house, but we sort of know better.
Yeah.
They'll have another one when their family grows. They'll have larger number of rooms and backyard and pool and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, yeah. For sure. Good
hey,
stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about the mortgage process. So somebody comes in, I get a client, and I say, hey, talk to John about getting a mortgage. What does that process look like for you in that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, before we really go into the how, I want to talk a little bit about the why, right? So why get pre-approved as well, because that's a huge, important part of it, right?
Sure.
So the pre-approval process is, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of the home buying process. Because it makes no sense to go out with Steve over here and find that perfect home and have those conversations if when you find that perfect home, you realize that it's way out of your monthly budget.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. So all that does is sets you up for disappointment, which we want to avoid at all costs, obviously.
Sure.
So pre-approval is important. So one, to set your budget. Two, to make sure that you can even qualify for the home that you would like to buy. And then three, it helps you stand out as a stronger buyer out there in the market too. So if I'm a seller and I've got two offers in, one from a non pre-qualified buyer and one that's already been pre-approved through underwriting, for example, that person who's been pre-approved through underwriting is going to be a much stronger offer to accept. So right. That's kind of the why behind the pre-approval process. And then as far as the how,
I just want to touch on that for just a second. We're finding more and more. We're kind of going back a little bit to where we were maybe 3-4 years ago, in that a lot of our listings are having multiple offers.
Yep.
So to your point, if we have a listing and we have 3 or 4 offers that are coming in at the same time, the person who's pre-approved for the mortgage for that house is going to be a stronger candidate for that house to get to the end, to get the closing, rather than a person who just comes in and says, okay, now I've got to start the process, on day one.
Exactly. So, you have your cash offers up top, And then right under that is your underwriting pre-approved bar,
Pre-approved,
right?
right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
So absolutely,
Exactly,
good point there.
exactly.
So
And so what's the process look like?
yeah, so the how of it, it's pretty simple. All it requires is a little bit of time and then commitment, right? So the first thing is to give your loan officer a call, give your lender a call, and have an initial conversation about what you're looking to do, and then it's fill out an application. Takes about 15 minutes. We're going to gather information.
It's online.
Yes, it's all online application. We have a mobile app. You can do everything on your phone. Takes about 15-20 minutes. You're going to plug in all your income, employment information, what you're looking to get pre-approved for, what down payment you kind of have planned for, and any of the things you put into an application. It's not a test, so you can't fail it. It's just gathering some initial information. So once the application is submitted, there will be a list of documents that once you upload. It's always helpful to go ahead and do that as well, so we can use those documents to verify the information.
What kind of documents you're looking for?
So pay stubs, bank statements, W-2s, tax returns if you're self-employed, documents from other properties that you might own, stuff like that. Yeah, those are the basic documents. So once we get that application in, we will start processing your application. We'll look at 3 big things. So one's going to be your credit score. And so just because you don't have perfect credit doesn't mean you can't buy a home. So we have a wide range of products that works for different credit scores. 2 is going to be that debt to income ratio. So we look at your gross monthly income that we can use to qualify, compared to the new mortgage payment for the home you're looking to buy, plus any other debts that you have. So auto loans, minimum payments on credit cards, student loans, stuff like that. So that's the big thing we have to look at. So the government agencies, so Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VA and FHA, they set the parameters on the max debt to income ratio. We follow them, and basically have to stay underneath the limit for the max.
So all lenders in the area have those same rules that they're following.
Essentially, yeah. Some lenders have tighter restrictions that we call those overlays, but typically, we just follow the agency debt to income ratios. And so the third part of it is going to be available funds. Everybody has a different financial picture. Somebody may have 10,000 available to buy their first home. Somebody may have $100,000 available, depending on the situation. So there's different programs out there that can help with the total out of pocket. And we always, if somebody is dead set on 10% down, we may look at 5% down and show them the difference in those payments. Sure. But that's the third big part of the application. So once the application is submitted, we process that, we look at all those things, and then we set up what's called we like to call pre-purchase consultation. So that's going to be a 30-minute conversation. Typically, we like to do a Zoom call with the home buyer, and during that 30-minute consultation, we'll go through all the different loan programs that they qualify for. We'll go through all the numbers as far as the monthly payment, what goes into the monthly payment, your closing costs, your down payment, all that good stuff. So that's during that consultation is when the buyers, have an opportunity to ask all their questions, and we bring all their numbers into really sharp focus. And then the next step, once we do that, at that point they would be pre-approved. The goal after that is to really take it one step further, like we talked about, and do that upfront underwriting pre-approval, because the underwriter is the official person who can, who will be approving the loan for our company. And so we like to do that before making an offer if possible. It's not required, to help the buyer, have that leg up when they're ready to make an offer on a home. Yeah, so. And then they're ready to go. And then essentially, then I'm going to give Steve a call. Hey, they're good to go. Go find them a home and let me know when they're ready to write an offer. And then we'll put together a strategy to help them win. Okay, good, very good. Hey, so thinking about this this new world we're living in with the commissions, real estate commissions that we talked about, there are some people who are thinking, the buyer may have to roll his commission into his payment. Okay. How might that affect the purchase or their limits on what they can buy? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be any changes in the future as far as the loan guidelines go. As of right now, you can't really roll your closing costs into your loan. The only way you could really do that is to, the only way you can indirectly do that is to offer a higher price on the property, and then ask the seller to, you know, maybe give you a seller credit,
right,
to cover those costs. But it's, you know, at that point, you know, that's kind of an indirect way to finance
right,
those costs, if the seller is not willing to really pay for it. But
right.
the, you know, the caveat on that is the property still has to appraise
Sure,
at what you're making the offer at.
Sure.
So
and you've got to be able to afford it based upon payments and all
exactly,
that, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Right. So brave new world, we're gonna be going into there, I think it's what, May or June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what changes happen, but we'll find ways to adapt, I think, and I think it'll all work out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, John, thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Steve. It's
No worries.
been great.
Good. Hey, this is Steve DePoe with the Rose Realty team. See ya.